All right, guys, welcome to a Sephora video. I have a really, I don't know, disappointing kind of. Like, I don't want it to be a negative video, but there's a lot of stuff here where I'm kind of like, I don't know why I'm not that interested. I'm also not that interested in the majority of the holiday releases. The Pat McGrath palette, the large one. I have one item from Pat McGrath here, which is like the blushes. There was a quad I was kind of interested in, but I was like, meh. Uninterested in just majority of the holiday releases. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to pick up a few here and there, but you know, well, okay, so we might as well just start with the Pat McGrath. I do have one of the blushes on today. When she released all of her blushes, I was into blush, but not into blush enough to pick up anything. So I'm really happy I waited because now I can try 2 shades and then a highlight. After I was thinking of getting the other palette as well because they're like more vibrant shades, but I can borderline almost not wear the highlight here, so I definitely wouldn't be able to wear the highlight in that palette. And then when I looked at the pigment and kind of how those colors would look on me, they would look good, but these also look great, so we're just gonna stick to that. So I have this color here on, which is called Desert Orchid. Very, very pretty. And I do have this highlighter on, which looks quite light on camera, but when I show you the swatch versus like a Charlotte Tilbury palette, you're gonna see that I have it down my nose and I have it on the heights of my cheekbones, which might look good, but okay, so window here, no window on this side, and well, I guess we're not really seeing anything much there. So I really like this. I'm glad I picked this up. I enjoy this formula. It's incredibly smooth, incredibly beautiful, performs beautifully. And again, I have the center shade on as my blush today. So any kind of like blushiness you see like right here, it's definitely that. I also picked up the Nudegasm from Charlotte Tilbury. This I didn't pick up from Sephora. I mean, this is overall a Sephora haul. This I got from, I think, Cult Beauty, and there was a promotion for it. So like $75 retail in the US, but after the exchange rate and the promotion they were running, I think it was like $53, $54. Excellent price. So I kind of waited because I knew at some point there would be some kind of promotion. So I have this color on as my contour today, and they all perform really beautifully. I think anyone that has reviewed this, you can't say that you don't like it. The quality is there. There is still an issue with this being their darkest offering to date, and it would not suit people who are actually dark or deep. So take that for what you will. I know when they first released this, was it last holiday or the holiday before? There were 2 versions of it, kind of a lighter one as well as like a medium to tan one, and I think this was their next step up. So if this is gonna go in this direction, if this is the trend, hopefully she brings out something more suited to people who also want to partake in this palette because the formulas are beautiful. So this is the Pat McGrath, and this is the one I have on my cheeks. And then you can see this is kind of a darker highlight. On my skin tone, it wouldn't be very lifting. It's just a little bit highlighty. And then this is the Charlotte Tilbury. I really love the tones here. So if I can enjoy the tones, that means people who are darker. I mean, yes, it's buildable. That's the great thing about Baked Chalet, is that it does build, but we're still not there. The blush is beautiful and the highlight is lighter and more complementary to my skin tone. So there's those things. I'm enjoying both of these very much. Okay, next we're gonna talk about a couple items from One Size. I didn't have like a great experience initially with the products that were released. The eyeshadow palette, I mean, we don't have to talk about it. It's been on sale for a long time. Anyone who reviewed it positively is clearly just like a fan, which is fine. You can do that, but I did not like that. I had the liquid liner, which was okay. I felt like it like bled a little all over the cap and into like the outside of where the brush was. I think that is my only experience with Patrick Starr's line. So then recently I picked up the powder. I don't know if this clip has been uploaded yet. It's probably part of a vlog, but I did like a mini Sephora haul, and I picked up Light 3 in this. So the way the tones and shades go, it's like fair, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, light, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, and ongoing. So I thought I was not in the fair like section. I thought I'd be like in the light section. So I picked Light 3, the powder, too dark for me. So I couldn't even tell if I liked the powder or not. So then I went a step down, and this is shade Light 2. Looks like it would match me. When I put it on, it's still too dark on me. So the Light 3 was a little too yellow and deep. This is just a little too deep on me. The tone is actually okay, but again, because it looks darker on my face, I'm like, I don't like it. And now after having a color that is slightly better, I would say that I still prefer my Makeup Forever powder. That powder is just so amazing and works for me all year round. Whereas this one, I think, is definitely more of like a spring summer powder for me. I don't find that it's particularly blurring. I do know that the loose powder is getting a lot of positive reviews as well. So maybe the loose powder, but I feel like once you are kind of like not in love with most of the products you try, you lose a little bit of that momentum and motivation to try other products. So that's my opinion here. The powder is fine. I don't think there's anything bad about this powder. I'm just having a hard time matching myself, and I don't love it enough at this point to try to find my right shade. It's possible I'm Light 1. It's possible I might even be in the fair category. So that is my review here. I do love the packaging. The weight of it is like perfect, not super heavy, and I like that you just kind of like lift this latch. Like I'm all here for the packaging, and then the OS, not the OS. Yeah, the OS is a little raised, like really cute packaging. I also have the concealer. I have this one in Light 3. I always go a little deeper in concealers because I like things to match. I like the tone of this. This is Light 3 Neutral. It's very brightening on my under eyes, you can tell. My holy grail right now is probably the Anastasia concealer. I have that in shade 5. I've been really loving the Iconic London concealer I've been using. I haven't shared that with you guys yet. And then, of course, the past year has been the year of the e.l.f. brightening concealer, which doesn't give a lot of coverage, but it gives a really beautiful finish, and I don't care if maybe I'm not getting everything covered, right? So I don't know if I like this enough to keep it. I definitely like it. I have it on various parts of my face besides the under eyes. I think what I love the most is the color and the tone. As far as the finish goes, it can look a little... It does settle a little bit, not a lot. All concealers settle a little bit. So it's kind of performing as well as other concealers that I like would perform or can perform. But I'm kind of like iffy. Like I'm really kind of trying to be in this mindset of you have to love it. Love it. If you don't love it, do not keep it in your collection because it's just more like, you know, decision fatigue that is created. And okay, another slight, not disappointment, but like I don't love it. It's the Makeup Forever Rouge Artist Shine On. I have mine in the shade 132 Cheerful Beige. So it has a cute component. You take this off and you can put this over here, and then you have like a twist up. Ooh, okay, I did not mean to do that. I meant to like sniff it for the, whatever. I don't like the smell of it. It's like a sweet floral, and you can smell it and taste it on your lips, and it doesn't dissipate because I put it on and I felt like even after time had passed, I was still smelling and tasting it, and I can't do that with lip products. So the color is beautiful, okay? And the finish is beautiful. It has like just a slight shine, but no. Honestly, if there was no scent to this, I would totally keep this. Like if I like the scent, I would totally keep it because this color is very brightening on the face for me, and the formula is nice. It sits nicely, but it's just like I can just smell it now. Like I don't like that. All right, so next let's delve into some cream cheek products. The first thing I have to share with you is from Danessa Myricks, and it is her, what are we calling this? Oh geez. It's like not on the front and it's not on the back. Okay, well, it's the Balm Contour. That's all I remember. I have mine in the shade Light 2. I had picked up her cream bronzer and ended up returning it because the tone was like very kind of warm and orangey. Maybe it wasn't meant for my skin tone, but the other shades were not complimentary for me either. And I feel like I'm having the same experience with this where it's just too warm on me. It might not look super warm in the swatch, but when I apply it to my cheeks, it doesn't feel very contour to me. It definitely feels like it might be sculpting my face to some degree because it looks more like a bronzer, like a cream bronzer. I don't know if I have to play with this more, but when I used it a couple times, like with different bronzers on top of it or alone, it was just, the color was quite warm. Next are these Giorgio Armani melting color balms. So I had picked up number 20, oh, now I'm confused. Which ones did I have before? So I had ordered number 20 from Nordstrom, but they sent me 21, which I kept and I'm fine with it. So in this moment, I decided to also pick up number 20 from Sephora. Oh, did I mention that all of the Sephora stuff was 20% off? I had like one of those like friends and family codes. So here's the difference. This is 21 and this is 20. 21 actually has more of like a reddish undertone, whereas this has more of a warmer undertone. It doesn't look necessarily like that on camera, but when I show you the swatches, you will see what I'm talking about. This is shade 30. I have this on my lips. I have it on my lips, and then I even tapped it on the edges of my eye makeup. I am so in love with this. I know there's a more red tone shade in this lineup that I'm considering, and then there's definitely like a peachy pink. I just do kind of want a straight up blush color, because right now we have like a very like bright blush and we have a couple of bronzer contour shades. So the bottom is the Danessa Myricks. This is number 20, this is 21, and that is 30 from Giorgio Armani. So these two are really great shades. I really like these. I'm gonna keep them. I can play with them. And then love this thing, obviously. Number 30 is gorgeous. The only thing I'll say about the Giorgio Armani ones are it can be patchy on like this side of my cheek. This cheek is the one that is so flighty. Sometimes things smooth right over it, sometimes things don't. And a product like this from Giorgio Armani, the texture will catch on, not dry spots, I don't know what it is, but like there are certain parts of my cheek here that do not hold color. So my cheek makeup always looks so stunning on this side. And then on this side, you can, oh, it is darker on this side, but you can see a little more of a patchiness. It's not like horrible. I'm not like, I cannot leave the house, but it's definitely noticeable to me when I'm applying it because I do have to work a lot harder to like buff it in. And I get questions about if I sleep on this side of my face. I don't. I sleep on my back. I am someone that has slept on my back since I was probably 11 or 12 because I had a knee problem and I refused to move. I was so scared of moving at night and like it dislocating. And it has definitely dislocated in my life while I have been in bed and like turned weird, and it's just, that situation will make you sleep on your back. So in hindsight, and even obviously now, best thing ever, honestly, because sleeping on your back definitely prevents wrinkles because you're not smushing parts of your face. And I don't know if it's the most comfortable, but it's definitely great for your skin because you're not mushing it. At first I didn't believe this whole thing like, oh, if you like sleep on your face in certain ways that it will cause like a wrinkle or something. Because in my mind, okay, so let's say you sleep on some part of your face throughout the day, it unwrinkles, right? It will like smooth out, but like the repetitiveness of it, yes, absolutely can create creases and fine lines in like places where you would not expect or prematurely, right? I'm going on a tangent here about back sleeping, but I highly recommend back sleeping and sleeping on a silk or satin pillowcase. These two things, without fail, are things that you can do and incorporate them into your beauty routine, and it's great results. Okay, the next thing is the Natasha Denona Retro Palette. When this was released, I was like, oh, this is so me, they're so my tones. And they actually are because, you know, I love this color, this color, this color, this color, this color. The problem here is I only like about a handful of the colors. Even this color right here is really pretty. But that's about it. I won't even use half of this palette when I pull it out. Like it's not that I'm not inspired, but like my go-to look and how I like my eye makeup to look, this is not the palette for me, unfortunately. I do think there must be something slightly different in the formula because sometimes her creamy mattes can be difficult for me to work with. But this one, every color in here performs beautifully. So if this is something you were interested in and you would wear more of these colors, I would recommend it to you. But it is not for me. Okay, so next I have 3 Violet Voss palettes to share with you. I'm putting it in this video because you can purchase Violet Voss at Sephora, but I got these palettes during the Labor Day sale and they were all 50% off, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for it because these 2 palettes I have been on my list, in my wish list, in my Sephora cart, not Sephora cart, wish list for a while, so I was so excited they went half off, and this was just like another random nice find. So if you're like me and you were interested in the Natasha Denona Retro palette, I would recommend this to you. It's the I Love You Cherry Much palette from Violet Voss. I love Violet Voss palettes. I have the Sakura one, love that one. I have tried the coral one out, but I think it was just too coral. All the colors were almost too similar on my eyes without variation for me. But this one is what I have on the eyes today. I've also topped it off with that Giorgio Armani number 30 balm. I love it. I don't know how to explain this to you, but like when you see a shade and you think, oh, it's gonna be so dark, like this color you might think is gonna be like too purple, but when you have it on the eyes, which I do, you get like a flash of that kind of cherry vibe. And even like these kind of what we consider crease shades, like, oh, that's just gonna look really camel toned, but there was like a slight kind of like pinky peachiness to it that's really pretty. And then this one, again, like a crease shade, but you can see it leans a little bit into that kind of reddish pinkish arena. I love how they do their palettes. So those are some of the shimmer swatch. So good. I love Violet Voss shadows. Okay, so this is the Cool Vibes palette. I think they have a Warm Vibes too. So we all know the level of disappointment we all had when the Mary Jane palette from Melt Cosmetics did not fly, it never took off for any of us. So I was like, I really do want that kind of like cool toned palette that I really would enjoy. The reason why the Mary Jane palette appealed so much to me was because there were so many olive undertones in so many of the shades, but the formula, guys, was just so hard to work with. So this is kind of the answer to that. I really enjoy this palette. I've used it many times and have wanted to come back to it. Okay, so those are full swatches. The mattes in this palette are so buttery and beautiful. So with me, I've always not really liked gray shadow because they tend to go blue on me. These actually maintain a very nice level of gray so that when I wear it, it actually makes my eyes look like a really bright yellow brown shade, which I truly appreciate. Also, you can see the kind of warmer shades are beautiful and they play really well with the rest of this palette. I feel like you have to like cool tones, obviously, to get and enjoy this palette, but I love it. Okay, lastly is this palette, the Wild Dahlia palette from Violet Voss. First of all, the packaging here is so cute. I'm pretty sure these palettes are under $20. And when I show you the inside, when I show you what the color story is, it is such a perfect fall toned eyeshadow palette. I am in love. This is a very me palette. I get a lot of use out of this. I'm just trying to make sure you can see it in different lighting because my camera and lighting can for sure wash things out. Look at this color story. Look how perfect. Look at the pigment. Look at the different colors and how some of them like, oof, so pretty. Okay, yes, so that concludes. Oh, has this earring been hidden the whole time? It's like you want to wear earrings, but you don't want it to be like so like, oh my god, look at my jewelry. I'll list all my jewelry below. I don't think these earrings, these are from Nadri, I think. Either Nadri or Nordstrom's brand. This is, I think it's Ettika or Ettika, and then this is Baublebar, but we will list and link everything below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which holiday things you guys are actually interested in because there's not a lot that I am like, I might be excited for some things and when I get them I'm kind of like underwhelmed, like some of the stuff you saw here, and then as a general thing when I see releases I'm like, oh yeah, but you know, like not excited to spend, and which is fine and great for my wallet actually. So I'm only keeping and getting things I'm rambling. I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.